The Vatican is now beginning its rituals to mourn the loss of Pope Francis and ultimately choose his successor, with his funeral slated for this Saturday.
Alex Hogan live in St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. Alex.
Hi, Carly and Todd. We have that official news this morning, the big news of when all of this will take place, with the meeting of the cardinals deciding that the funeral will take place at 10 a.m. on Saturday, which is 4 a.m. Eastern time, as you mentioned. This is in line with what we expected to see. Typically, the funeral of a pope takes place 4 to 6 days after the pontiff's death, and now we're getting the first glimpses of Pope Francis himself. We can see him in these images. He's currently at the chapel of Domus Sancta Martha, appearing in a wooden casket in red robes with his bishop's mitre. Starting this time tomorrow, the Pope will lie in state at St. Peter's Basilica for the faithful to pay their respects and to say goodbye. Already crowds have gathered throughout the day here at the Vatican. The announcement of the Pope's death has triggered a series of events that will take place to begin the transition to select a new Pope, and of course to honor the late pontiff. In France, the skies of Paris went dark in memory of the Pope, and back stateside, President Trump made this announcement.
I just signed an executive order putting the flags of our country, all of them, all federal flags and state flags, at half-mast in honor of Pope Francis. So he was a good man, worked hard. He loved the world, and it's an honor to do that.
President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump are expected to attend the funeral. The conclave, the process of picking a new pope, takes place in the Vatican. The College of Cardinals gathers at the Sistine Chapel to select a new pope. The cardinals vote by secret ballot, and a 2/3 vote is required. Ballots are then burned, and the smoke color indicates the result. If the smoke is white, a new pope has been picked, and then the pope will deliver a first blessing.
Welcome to another edition of the Truth Zone. As always, this is your host, Truth Seeker here. And as always, I would ask that you would please take time out of your day to like the video, comment down below. And if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, turning on the bell icon, and selecting all notifications so you will never miss another upload to the channel. And let's talk about the Pope yet again and how weird and strange his unaliving was, because Donald Trump chose to do this weird thing when he was talking about the Pope's unaliving. He had a colored bunny, a brown bunny, next to him as he was talking about the Pope's unaliving. And why that is very strange is because the bunny rabbit represents fertility. It's part of the occult. It's part of the occult nature of Easter. So I find that to be very strange that the day after Easter, he chose to have this bunny still come out with him that was brown. So I find it very odd in and of itself how he chose to have this brown bunny with him. He got rid of the white bunny that is usually seen for this brown bunny as he was talking about the Pope's unaliving. Because a lot of people think that we are going to see a colored Pope, a black Pope as the next Pope. And it really would not surprise me if that were to be the case. I guess time will tell, but there's a lot of weird things going on during spring. There really is a lot of weird and strange and eerie things going on. And the fact that the Pope was unalived after Easter, or at least announced unalive after Easter, in and of itself is just very strange. It's all a ritual to these people. And the reason you know it's a ritual is because they shared the photo. As you watch the video too, they showed photos and a video of the Pope in this casket. And the reason it's very weird is because the fact that he has a black eye on the left eye. And another weird thing is this person that's on guard is wearing the blue and the yellow. And why that's very interesting is because that is the color of the Freemason compass that is associated with the Freemasons. But this isn't the first time that the Pope, Pope Francis, has had this black eye on the left eye. So it's very strange because when you begin to do your research, you will see a lot of different celebrities at one point in time, or a lot of different famous people, or even politicians at one point in time have had their left eye blackened because it's part of what is known as the Black Eye Club. That's what this is known as. And the reason for this is because a lot of people believe this is to do with Vril, or, the Zerd people. Now, I got to be careful how I word that because YouTube doesn't seem to really like that very much. That's why I kind of cut off the, certain part of it. But, those people, the Zerd people, we'll just say it like that. But that is the reason why this is associated with the left eye. And obviously, the one eye being blackened, that's also associated with the one eye symbolism. And the post that Donald Trump put out too is very odd in and of itself because he put, "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but rather by those who watched him without doing anything to stop them." That is very interesting in and of itself. And speaking of the eye stuff, how Klaus Schwab just recently stepped down. Well, look at the person. And the reason I'm putting this in here is because this is really associated with the Pope, because on the same day as the Pope's unaliving is the same day that Klaus Schwab stepped down. So that's why I am including this in this video. And this guy's name is known as Peter, and I don't even know how to pronounce the rest of his last name, but that's very interesting in and of itself, Peter, and all this stuff with the Pope and everything else. But what is very interesting about this is look at his eye, and look, it's the left eye yet again. I mean, it's just very weird. All of this stuff is very strange, to say the least. And one has to wonder what is really going on. What are they really trying to say with all of this? Because it really seems like the Klaus Schwab thing and this is connected in a roundabout way, because obviously, as I went over in another video, there's an 88 connection with all of this. And the fact that 88 is associated with Donald Trump, and the list goes on and on. It's just very weird. And of course, the number 8 is associated with the infinity symbol. We are in the year of the snake eating its own tail. So all of this stuff is connected in a roundabout way. And it's just very bizarre, everything going on. And this guy right here looks like he's wearing a mask at that. The guy that's replacing Klaus Schwab. It's just, everything about this is just odd, to say the least. The Pope's unaliving this creepy looking dude replacing Klaus Schwab. He looks even more creepy than Klaus Schwab looked, believe it or not. So there's a lot of weird things going on. A lot of weird things happening right in front of our faces. And it's just getting more and more bizarre by the day, by the second, by whatever term you want to use. So that's why I find this to be very weird. And I get it, the Pope, 88 years old, I get it, that's old, but was he even really around to begin with? Because a lot of people think that the Pope was an actor on the world stage, and he could have been a guy named Jonathan Pryce playing the role of the Pope. Because when you look at a side-by-side comparison of the two, they look eerily similar to each other, because you are watching a movie script being played out. So who really knows what is going on anymore? But there's a lot of weird things definitely happening. There is, you can't deny it, I can't deny it. There's a lot of strange things going on. But as always, I do want to hear from each and every one of you. What are your thoughts on all of this stuff going on, currently happening? And I can't thank you enough for your continued prayers and your continued support. And as always, this is your host, Truth Seeker, signing out.